XRP, they're gonna take it? Please read the disclaimer. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. Very interesting week here for XRP, for the crypto market, for the stock market. We're going to talk about all the things. Right now, XRP is sitting at $1.35, up 1.85% on the day. Bitcoin up 1.2%, Ethereum up 2.9%, 2,042 here for Ethereum, Bitcoin at 67,000. The question is going to be for the crypto market this week, are we going to see a potential double bottom here for the crypto market and see the crypto market recover? Potentially, we're seeing the stochastic RSI. If we look at the total crypto market and even at XRP in individually, you can see we're at the bottom of the stochastic RSI. If we're looking here at the daily chart, there is a potential of a crossover here on the 1348 EMA. So if that happens, we could see the markets come on a nice movement here to the upside. But again, that has to do a lot with the factors on what's happening geopolitically, what's happening with oil that popped up over $100 once again, currently trading at 102. Although pre-market, it's not pre-market yet, but the futures on the S&P 500 are in the green. They started off in the red and now have jumped back a little bit. And same here for the crypto market. After starting off in the red here this morning, you can see as soon as the futures market opened up here, we saw a sell-off here for XRP, dropping all the way to 129 and then jumping back to 135. So you can see a lot of what's happening right now with XRP, with Bitcoin. It's all mimicking what's happening with the rest of the market, meaning that it's a lot of algo trading, right? I don't think that retail is selling off exactly as futures open up on the market. Maybe some are, maybe very sophisticated traders that know that it's opening up, but regular Joe Schmoes, right, that are retail investors are not selling here. It's you could call it manipulation, you could call it part of the market. It is what it is, and that's why every single day I do not know what the market is going to do, and I don't know if it's going to go up or down. It depends what Trump says. It depends what the Iranians do. It depends what the financial data that comes out on that specific day. So as always, remember that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Very, very important. So if we go and we talk a little bit about what President Trump is saying and that current situation, we'll get to what Brad said in just a second. President Trump says, big day in Iran. Many long sought after targets have been taken out and destroyed by our great military, the finest and most lethal in the world. God bless you all. And then he also was talking about a possibility of them extracting nearly 1,000 pounds of uranium from Iran. This is considered a complex and risky mission that would likely put American forces inside the country for days or longer. Trump believes this could help accomplish his central goal of preventing Iran from ever making the nuclear weapon. Trump has also encouraged his advisors to press Iran to agree to surrender the material as a condition for ending the war. The U.S. and Iran have yet to engage in direct negotiations to end the war, another sign of potential U.S. ground operation in Iran. And Shay is saying here, President Trump says that they could take the oil in Iran and seize Karag Island. He also says indirect talks through the Pakistani intermediates are progressing and that the ceasefire deal could come together fairly quickly. Quick sleep update. I slept through the night, no alarms. Right, yesterday, interesting, there was a lot of warnings, but not an alarm. You get like a pre-warning, and then if there's an alarm, there's an alarm. Interestingly, they're now firing to a lot to the southern part here, so we'll see how that plays out. Is that an indicator that things are shifting, that things are changing, that they're towards the end of their arsenal, so they're now targeting specific areas? We'll see. Oil prices, again, are not feeling like it's over, but remember that in the weeks running into this and the days in the beginning, people were talking about 100 was probably going to happen. Like we knew that that was high probability because oil has popped to 100 before. It's not, something that has never happened. So we knew that $100 a barrel was a possibility, but people were talking about 200, right? Which is we'd never seen before. And that seems to be, for now, off the table unless anything catastrophic will happen. And now it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here because we talked about this over the past last week about the yields. If the yields start looking too high, we've seen in the past that President Trump changes his tune. If he sees that the yields are getting to critical mass, he starts changing his tune. He starts chickening out, right? Or not chickening out, but the taco. But he's changing his tactics, you could call it. And we'll see if that happens again this week. What would be the shift? Because he already gave the extension on the attack of the energy infrastructure for another 10 days, remember? And so once we get close to that date again, what's going to happen there? And we'll see how the market reacts to this and how the market looks at this. And it's going to be very interesting to see. We talked about this last night. Even if we have a green day today, don't get too excited, right? Even if it's a big green day, like maybe by the time you watch this video, I don't know, XRP's up 5%. It could revert during the week. So don't get too ahead of yourself. Be careful out there, okay? Things can change very, very fast. It's very, very important to remember that. We're still inside the trend. We haven't broken out of the trend line just yet. We crossed over for it, but we did not close over it on the daily chart. So it will be very interesting to see if this trend line does eventually get crossed here for XRP. It's going to be something that I'm going to be watching over the next coming weeks. Brad Garlinghouse made a statement here saying, great to join these two. This is FII Institute and Maria. Remember that interview? I was thinking maybe last night to go over the interview, but then I decided to go to sleep. And it was a good idea because I got to sleep a full night. We've seen a shift in the perception of the industry from, this, I don't know if I can say this, to pet rock, rewiring the financial system. Fast forward to today, and some of the biggest companies around the world are asking, are we using stablecoin and digital assets? We are? Oh my God. Ripple strategically focused our deal making outside the echo chamber to bridge the gap between traditional finance and crypto ecosystem. And those bets are paying off. He also said in that interview, of course, the quote that I quoted yesterday is that the banks need, the financial institutions need one more thing, right? They need the Clarity Act. The banks, the financial institutions, they need the Clarity Act, right? They need the stamp. They need it to be into law that they know that if they change their infrastructure, it's not going to be reverted back in 2-3 years if we do have a new government. And that's going to be very, very important. And, we're getting the Senate Banking Committee set to hold Chair nominee Kevin Warsh's confirmation hearing in the next few weeks, April 13th. And then it's going to be interesting to see how this year plays out. Shibo here says, nobody's connecting these dots. Trump needs a win before November. The fastest win available is ending the war, dropping oil prices, and letting the new fair chair cut rates into recovering economy. This is not a theory. This is the only move on the board to save the midterms. And when that liquidity hits, it won't trickle in, it will flood. The 2020 money printer made people very wealthy. What's coming makes 2020 look like a warm-up. Potentially, but remember, we also thought that 2025 was going to be amazing because we had that kind of detached and we thought that money was going to be coming in, and that didn't happen eventually. So we'll see how this plays out. Again, things can change, things can happen. We don't know. Maybe, aliens come and take over the world. You don't know what's going to happen. Okay, so we need to be very careful. We need to always have a plan and a second play and a third play, and what if that happens? Like in the NBA, you guys know already. I'm a very big NBA fan. Did you guys see? Oh my God, that Duke versus UConn game! I can't believe it. What a finish! But anyway, in the NBA, right? They'll have a play on a play on a play, right? So meaning they'll run a play and there'll be a few options, and then the point guard, whoever's the running the show there. It could be like Nikola Jokic. He's not the point guard, he's the center. But whoever's running the show then knows, okay, if this screen happens and the defender stays on X, then I have Y option. And Y maybe is running on the other side of the court. And if that is closed, then I do this, right? They have like a certain set of things that they know if this doesn't play out the way it should, then I need to do 1, 2, 3. And then I see what's happening, how they're defending this, and then I make the decision, right? Those are the elite of the elite players. This is the elite of the elite investors, right? The elite of the elite traders. They look at the situation and they have 1, 2, 3 plays. If I am long right now and aliens come, what am I going to do, right? Am I going to long? Am I going to short? So this is what differentiates the elite to the amateurs. And if you want to be elite, you got to step your game up, okay? And learn and develop. And again, not everybody's going to be an elite NBA player. There's only 500 of them every single season. But there are some people that are doing it. So just remember, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, that maybe you're not an elite NBA player, but you are a good rec league player, and that's okay. Not everybody is going to be making $70 million a year soon, right? That's what they're going to be making, the top players. Some people make $100,000 playing overseas, and that's okay, right? That's still money. So maybe you'll be this, maybe you'll be that. It depends on what your God-gifted talents are, okay? But just don't stress yourself out too much. We'll see what happens here. And even BlackRock is gearing up, right? New BlackRock adds $350,000 head of digital asset role. BlackRock is recruiting a managing director of digital assets in New York City to lead its crypto, stablecoin, and tokenization strategy, reinforcing that crypto is now a core priority for Wall Street. We already know that BlackRock they're not all in crypto, because if they were all in, then they would have done an XRP ETF and a Solana ETF already. They let's say they put in 1 foot, right? Like there's maybe 2 feet, right? They're soaking their feet in the pool. They haven't jumped all the way in, right? And it's been very successful, right? They're feeling really good. They've made a lot of money off of it, but still they're not ready to totally commit. They are looking, in tokenization and, looking at stablecoin strategies. Their ETF strategy for now has leveled off a little bit, but it's interesting to see that they are continuing to hire. We talked about this, how some of the crypto jobs or the people that were in crypto jobs are kind of shifting over to AI. So it's interesting to see if we do see another run up. We do have a mini bull market here. What is going to happen with that? Do you see money flowing back into the crypto ecosystem? I'm talking about jobs. Or does it stay in AI because AI is just going to be so much hotter and there's going to be so much more money that is going to flow in there? In the past, we've had things like the metaverse and things like that, where it was hot for a second and then money shifted there, but then it fizzled out. It's interesting. Will Facebook change its name back from Meta to Facebook? Because it's kind of like, you remember it was the hype. Everybody was talking about it. Oh, we're going to live in the metaverse. And then it's like kind of, okay, maybe we were a little bit too excited there. It could still happen, but I don't know. We'll see. And so AI, I don't think it's like that, right? AI is here to stay. And it's been here to stay. It's not like, I remember even when I was in university. So how many years ago was this? 13, 14 years ago, I had to do military and then university. So I was a little bit older. But there was a course, my friend of mine was in information systems engineer, right? And they had one of their courses, like everybody wanted, was AI, right? So even back then, in 2010, somewhere around that, AI was already picking up, and they were talking about courses and big data and all that. And just right now, the processors have caught up and have jumped significantly. We've talked about this in the past, how usually there's a law, I forgot the name of it right now, Moore's law, I think, that it's supposed to double the amount of processing every certain amount of years, and now it's just gone exponential. It's not doubling, it's just gone crazy. So we'll see how that potentially plays out in the next coming years, and how that could potentially affect the crypto market. If we go here to Yahoo and we try to figure out what's potentially going to happen here, Trump claims Iran gave in to U.S. demands, considering seizing oil. Metal and Google social media addiction troubles aren't over. Shift from oil isn't about being green anymore. There's nothing, it's a lot of, if you go to the headlines, a lot of oil, a lot of Trump, some stocks here, things that are happening. Nothing too crazy. It will be South Korea exports rise to most in 5 years. Import also higher in the Middle East. Nothing too crazy that is happening right now, but we still are seeing oil at a high level, and it's something that we're going to need to consider that could affect the markets. But again, right now, we saw that silver and gold and oil are all up here. The S&P 500 is up. And so it's very interesting when you have the S&P 500 with the VIX that is over 30. Many people are looking at this market and saying this is an oversold market. A lot of assets are at the quote unquote cheapest that they have been in a very long time. And so it was going to be very interesting to see how this plays out today, how this plays out this week. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Right? Is this going to be, I don't know, sounding like a pirate. I was watching One Piece before this week. Do you think that we're going to see a actual market recovery in the next coming weeks going into April, right? I don't do April Fool's videos, by the way, so don't be waiting for that. There was a time like in 2020, I think, like YouTube was going crazy, or it was 2021. Like everybody had a YouTube April Fool's video. Like I sold all my, I never did one. I don't think so. I don't remember. But April is coming. First quarter over. Let's see what second quarter brings to us. Maybe second quarter is going to be much better than first quarter. Let's hope. And so let's see how this week develops. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much. We've seen this in the past where we get a little bit excited and then the market pulls back on us. Right now, it's very low liquidity. We talked about that last night. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think? You can also just drop a comment, 8 for infinity and beyond. Although I don't know why the YouTube algorithm thing, it is for some reason it's taking those comments as spam. So just write infinity and beyond instead of 8, because I don't know why it's catching that as it's potentially spam or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe do XRP and then 8, and maybe that will think that it isn't spam. So join the notification nation if you haven't yet. And also we have the free and open Telegram group. If you're interested in that, it's open to everybody. So check that out in the description down below for daily updates that maybe we don't get here on the YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.